Guys, LMS 365 launched in 2003 as a side project by dentists at a local library. They finally said, "Well, this can be SaaS." In 2016, they broke $1 million revenue in 2018. Today, over $30 million in terms of run rate, up from call it 18 million a year ago. So call it 50% year-over-year growth. They're serving 2,000 paying customers. They help those customers be more productive in the Microsoft ecosystem. Those customers have over 2 million seats on the platform. As Rasmus continues to scale, he joined the company as CEO 2 years ago, did a 20 million Series A at a 5 to 6x multiple. He's now growing here with a team of 260 engineers and 14 sales hubs attacking each geography. We'll see what they do next.
Hey folks, if we haven't met yet, my name is Nathan Latka. I launched and sold my first software company back in 2015 and went on to write a book about it, which you guys made a Wall Street Journal bestseller, purchasing over 30,000 copies. Thank you so much for that. After the book, I launched this show and went on to create founderpath.com. I raised a large fund to do non-dilutive deals with B2B software founders. So far, we've invested in over 400 software founders, totaling $150 million. Here in 2024, we're doing 3 to 4 new deals per week. So if you're looking for capital and don't want to give up equity, go sign up at founderpath.com for free to get your offer. All right, let's jump into the interview.
Hey folks, my guest today is Rasmus Holst. He is the Chief Executive Officer at LMS 365, launched it a little over 2 years ago based in Denmark. Before that, he was CRO at a group called Wire for over 4 years, and before that, COO at a group called Huddle. We'll jump into LMS today. Rasmus, you ready to take us to the top?
Absolutely. Good that you want to have me here, Nathan. I'm ready.
I'm excited to have you. You know, it's so hard to get employee performance management right. You have all these sort of personality tests, and you have people to try and build software for it. How do you fit into this space?
We historically come out of a learning background. So this means that actually for longer than I've been here, we've been building a learning management platform built into Microsoft Teams, because we believe that learning should be where you actually meet where you are at every day. But then as we kind of grow with that ambition, we don't just want to provide learning. So essentially what we've done is we've elevated the way we think about the platform to human success. And then you will ask, what's human success? It's basically performance, it's engagement, it's learning, it's your skills, all underpinned by AI. And note that I deliberately use the word success rather than human resource, because what we really believe is happening here is you used to have a customer support type of team that dealt with customer support, but it became customer success and it became centric to the organization, how you actually dealt with that. And we feel like people is almost the same. Like, why do you want to be a human resource? I should actually, as the CEO, invest in your success, whether you're successful here or in the next company. You start by reading out a couple of companies I've been at. My journey to here should be successes, maybe not all successes, because we'll not all be successful at everything we do, but successes along the way that bring you along the journey and allows you to move further and further up the ranks. So that's how we think about the product. That's how we think about it. And we actually think there's a category to be created for human success.
Compliance training, Microsoft 365 adoption, tracking and reporting. These are some of the solutions that you guys offer. Now, the company was launched all the way back in 2003, I believe, and you joined as CEO more recently. We'll jump into that story first, but give me a sense today. Can you tell me a customer story and give me a sense of what, on average, a customer is paying you to use your full platform per year?
Yeah, our core market is core to upper mid-market, so 250 to 2,500 users, often traditional industries, so often manufacturing, logistics, healthcare, financial services industries, those types of things. So typically people with a strong Microsoft install base, and they typically pay us around 15,000 for a solution. That's the average. We did do last per year. And one of the
just to be clear on that, Rasmus, sorry, if someone's paying you $15,000 per year, how many seats are they likely paying for? A couple hundred?
In the 300-400s.
300-400.
Yes.
Okay.
And then one of the growth pieces that we put in place here is that last year, at the end of the year, we acquired Weekly 10. So we basically we set up the human success narrative and acquired into that by acquiring an engagement and performance platform for Weekly 10 out of Wrexham. So essentially what we did was to buy our way into building a broader platform, but obviously also with the view that we can scale more broadly and get a bigger share of wallets with our customers as it stands today, because we can see the market is consolidating. you want to offer more to the clients that you have, so that it becomes a suite more than a single trick pony that you're offering.
Tech.eu reported that, quote, Danish learning platform LMS 365 buys weekly 10 for 4.5 million euros. Was that correct?
Yeah, that's in that range. It was bought half in cash and half in shares, so the number is there or thereabouts. Yes.
I love seeing a company, look, this is an American host and a European founder, but so many times when I talk to Europeans, they just feel like they don't want to talk about as numbers and be as aggressive as their American counterpart CEOs. So I love that you guys were aggressive. You went out and got this deal done. What feedback do you have for maybe other CEOs based in Denmark or Sweden or the European looking to be aggressive with M&A?
But remember, I am Danish by origin, but I spent 7 years of my life in San Francisco.
There we go.
With Robin. I work with Robin Daniels on a daily basis. He spent 20 years of his life in Silicon Valley, and I work with Henrik Jebberg. He spent 10 years of his life in Silicon Valley. So there is a bit of DNA, and I will say it's a great question because I've often been invited to answer that question actually at the Danish embassy in Silicon Valley when you had founders come over. And I still play a part in that, also in the SaaS community where we will meet next week. In trying to say, hey, often we are a little bit timid. There's a little bit of a glass ceiling in the Nordics. We're super good at longevity building businesses, but the burst and the window of opportunity that Americans see and that they cherish, and hey, I have the opportunity now, we often forget here, and thereby it becomes more of a long, stable growth rather than these burst sprints that you're able to do with the US. And also, I think perspective on that is failure in the US is a different kind of beast. If you're taken off the football team as wide receiver and you have to go to junior varsity and try to come back to varsity, you're celebrated more if you make it back to varsity because you endure it, you fought, you got back. In Europe, it's especially in the Nordics, it's a lot like, hey, you failed, and that's a stigma more than it is an opportunity to come back and get better. And I know that Nathan took my spot as wide receiver. I want that back. I'll fight for it. And that mentality we can apply a lot more in the Nordics to compete with our US counterparts.
We're running
Nathan,
short on time here, Russ. Yeah, sorry about that, Rasmus. I said we're running short on time here, but I do want to talk about capitalization for a second because I believe, correct me if I'm wrong here, that when you joined, the company was bootstrapped, and then you guys did a Series A in April last year. Is that correct? And if so, how much was the Series A for?
The Series A was for 20 million. So it was actually under the premise that we have a world-class cash flow engine. When you sell to Microsoft customers, they're used to paying upfront. So that made us bootstrapped all the way up to $18 million. And
revenue?
when we then raised, of ARR, I should say.
You hit that. You hit 18 million last year.
We hit 18 million in 2020, early 2023, and we came out of last year with about 30 million.
Oh wow! Wow. Okay, so you grew almost 100%.
50%. We ended shy of the 20 mark and ended at 30, so around 50% growth mark.
I got it. I was going 15 million to 30. I was going to give you the 100% number, but 50% year over year is good too.
Around the 30 million mark and 50% growth was last year for us. But yeah, we did it under the belief that we could actually, while everyone was struggling with 2021 valuations, by taking in more capital, we would be able to grow faster through this. And if you look at our publicly traded competitors like Docebo or Cornerstone, we certainly outgrew them. And obviously, we also wanted to be part of this consolidator play. We didn't want to be consolidated and just get bored. We actually wanted to create the category of human success because we do believe we have there's a higher value to what we do, and there's a higher purpose to the mission we have.
But Rasmus, so these founders though that launched the company in 2003, I mean, it sounds like they were bootstrapped. It sounds like over 10 million of ARR at the point when they brought you in. I mean, they have all options on the table. Why did they make the decision to replace themselves? Why'd they bring you in?
The original founder was a dentist in northern part of Jutland. He's for a long time not been associated with the company. So essentially, it was a group of highly wealthy individuals who ran the company. Nothing to do with SaaS industries. Actually, they're bakers, and one is shipping and all kinds of stuff. But we did have some. Our chairman was from Navision, which is the first ever Danish unicorn at 2.5 billion exit to Microsoft, who went back and said, this does not belong in a slow, steady growth phase. We can actually give it the burst. And therefore, I was brought back from Silicon Valley to come here and give that burst. So that ties a little bit back to our storytelling here. And that's what we've done. We've given it a bit of injection of this. Hey, we can do stuff. We can be world-class. We can be category leading. We can be category creation. We can do all of the things you believe you can do in Silicon Valley because we had the financial underpinning of it. We had distribution that was world-class. And then we can essentially build that burst of energy that it needs to get up into world elite.
What pricing were you able to negotiate? You still want to manage dilution, even though the company's bootstrapped and the cap table was super clean before the Series A round. Did you raise at the traditional sort of sell somewhere between 10 and 15% of the company?
We raised at around between 5 and 6x is what I will give you.
Okay, so that's about 100 million. It's around 100 million valuation.
Yeah. And I'll say this, the reason here was, again, to keep a calm cap table. We have a situation where we'd obviously grown bootstrapped, and there's lots of stuff that's not right when you grow bootstrapped. And we had, hey, do you have all these financial things? And no, we don't. And do you have this? So the company was running immensely well, but for a $20 million round, we had outgrown we've done it on a spreadsheet, but that was what we had.
Yep.
So the deal was basically with Blue Cloud Ventures. They trusted us to be able to deliver exactly what we promised them, and we trusted them to come in and help the business. And it was with all the VCs that I've worked with over the year, and that's a lot. I think I've raised capital 7 times. I've been part of 4 exits in my career. This was the most gentleman agreement type of arrangement. And the great thing about it is Blue Cloud Ventures are far in the money already. My existing investors are far in the money, which means it makes decision focus on the right things and not everyone's who's underwater, who's not underwater, all those types of things.
Rasmus, just to cut that up really quick, there's a lot I want to unpack there just very quickly. So 20 million Series A round at somewhere around 100 million valuation. That was a 5x on the 20 million ARR, which is what you were at when you raised. You said that, first off, was the full 20 million going on the balance sheet or was part of that secondary?
Yeah. And that was all balance sheet. Because that was the trade-off, right? You want to take money in to be able to grow. Blue Cloud Ventures understood this, and you didn't want to sell out secondaries at that rate. And again, it's been a good deal for everyone. We turned down a number of $50 million term sheets with a lot of secondaries in there, but then it was like, hey, we don't want that valuation. So this was the perfect deal for us at the perfect time.
So just to be clear again, you say they're in the money because since the raise, you've added about $10, $12 million of new ARR. You're at about 30 million run rate today, correct?
Yeah.
What do you think you'll finish this year at? What's your goal?
Just north of 40.
40. And so how do you get there? Is it expanding current customers or adding net new logos?
We've been super good at increasing our NRR. Last year, it grew about 7 percentage points.
So what was it last year? 100 and something?
Just shy of 108.
108 net revenue retention last year. Okay.
So we've been good at that. And then obviously,
but why, Rasmus? Why is that? I mean, teach the audience, right? Or is it upselling more seats per plan? Is it cross-selling into new products?
It's upselling new seats. It's upselling new plans. Largely last year, because the acquisition of Weekly 10 was so late that it basically didn't have an impact on last year. It had a very, very limited impact on the business last year. Mm-hmm. And then it's actually the fruit of an investment we did 2 years ago, which was to start building a customer success team. We didn't have any. So it was the second round of renewals that we did with a full customer success team. By now, they understood. The first year we spent putting in place NPS, customer focus groups, all of those types of things, actually learning how to do this and all those. And you saw because you can then calculate our NRR was just around 100 the year before if we grew 7%. So it wasn't fantastic, but the team then stepped up to the second round of that and then started to be actually understanding what the task really was and what they wanted to achieve, and what they needed to achieve.
You fleshed that out for us today. What's the total team size today?
200 people.
And how many are in CS?
18, I think.
18.
Something like that.
Interesting. And what about how many engineers?
60.
60. Something else I see founders really struggle with, and so any advice we can get here is helpful, is how do you hire your first 10 reps? What quota do you give them? How long do you give them to ramp up? What is your quota carrying rep base like today? How many people total, and how did you set their quota?
Our quota philosophy is attainable, so that's probably more Nordic than it is American. And that meant that we run 14 hubs, which is essentially SDRs and business managers as a hub. And of the 14 hubs that we run, 13 of them made quota or above last year.
What was quota?
Quota is in, I think that one I'll keep to myself,
Okay.
just for the sake of
Why is
argument. But
is that because each hub has a different quota, or is that
Yeah.
like? Oh, I see. I
yeah,
see.
quotas are distributed according to hub and all of that. So I think the generalization would give a wrong picture of what this is. But
I
it's
see.
targeted towards the market you sell to and all of that. And
What is, just to be clear, that the hub is made up from one SDR, one AE, and one BDR, or what's the ratio?
it could be multiple SDRs to one AE, or it could be one-to-one relationship. It
How do you
depends
determine
again
that?
on the market opportunity sizes. So if you go into the UK, for instance, the UK market is a coherent large size US coherent large size organization. We have a market model where we understand how many of the various vertical companies exist in that region. So we basically staff according to our market model, and therefore some of the account executives are able to run a larger territory with the support of a couple of SDRs, and thereby carry a larger number.
So Rasmus, just to be clear, you're splitting these hubs. They target individual geographies. You don't split them by contract size or SMB or mid-market.
No.
They're split by geographies.
Geographies, yes.
I see. Makes a lot of sense. Okay, this is great. Now, you've got a lot of systems in place. You came in, you really operationalized the business, you've capitalized the business. How many paying customers are you working with today?
2,000-ish, and about just north of 2 million users.
Which would be 2 million seats across the 2,000 paid logos.
Yes.
That's wonderful. Well, this is great. Is there anything that we should have touched on that I didn't ask about?
No, I think the fact that we want to be our own best case study for human success is the last piece. It's absolutely amazing to be the CEO of a company where the product you deliver has to do with people, and there's no way around being your own best case study. I think that's, at least for me as a CEO, where you can tie together the mission with the product we deliver, with the value we deliver to customers, is absolutely exceptional. And it's a shame it took me so long in my career to find something that has all of these elements, but I'm very, very happy with where I'm at today.
Can you flesh out the revenue growth? Do you remember what year the company passed $1 million of revenue and 10 million of revenue?
10 million would be 2021.
Okay.
And 1 million was all the way back in 2017.
Oh, wow. So the company was stuck under $1 million of ARR between 2003 and 2017.
2018 would be the million. Yeah.
Wow. So there were 15 years where the company was really stuck under $1 million of revenue. Then something happened where it took off.
No. 2016, 2018. It's 2018 we were $1 million.
Yeah. But the founding year was 2003, according to Crunchbase. Is that right?
Yeah, but so the story here is crazy, because it's, for the longest time, it's a dentist who decides to quit his job, write a learning system for the local communal library. And that's the first ever LMS system that ever existed. And from there on, it hums along as a SharePoint consulting company for the longest time. A couple of people join, including our CTO. In 2016 is the birth of the company as it is today, because Freddie Bang, who's still our CTO, comes and says to the board, I will rebuild this for Azure and for Teams. And they give him 50,000 Danish kroner, so $7,000. He spent $70,000 rebuilding it. And if it wasn't for that decision, the company would never be here today.
Wow.
And then the timeline between 16 to 18 is what it takes to get to 1 million. And then from 18 to today is what it's taken to scale from 1 million to 30 million.
That's amazing.
On the same business model.
Rasmus, super exciting story. Let's wrap up here with the famous five. What software tool do you spend the most money on?
Everything Microsoft. My largest contract is with Microsoft, surprisingly.
Fair enough. Number two, is there a CEO you're following or studying?
I think that everything that Satya Nadella does is absolutely spectacular. I think the way he's transformed that business is fantastic, and the way he does it with grace and humanity on top is something to behold.
Number three, is there a book that you're studying or reading?
Yeah, I'm actually reading one now. The hard thing is about hard things, which is CEOs. Is a CEO journey of what is really when things are hard. How do you actually get through those?
I love that. Good one from Ben Horowitz there. Number four, how many hours of sleep do you get every night?
8.
That's good in situation.
At an average sleep score of 84. So I'm good at sleeping.
You're an Oura Ring guy?
I'm a Garmin watch guy.
Garmin watch. Fair enough. And what's your situation? Married, single, kids?
I've loved and been married to the same woman for over 20 years. She's traveled with me to Luxembourg, to San Francisco and back here. She's my support in everything I do every day. 2 lovely kids, 21, a girl studying engineering, just like her mom and dad, and a son still finishing up high school. That's great,
that's
the setup. And then a dog and a horse.
We'll count that as another kid together. How old are you today? And then what's something you wish you knew when you were 20?
50 today. When I was 20, take it easy. Everything doesn't actually go as fast as you think it will. And that's probably very true. I still run at a way too high pace, but I've learned that things don't change as fast as I think they should.
Guys, LMS 365 launched in 2003 as a side project by dentists at a local library. They finally said, well, this can be SaaS. In 2016, they broke $1 million revenue in 2018. Today, over $30 million in terms of run rate, up from, call it, $18 million a year ago. So call it 50% year-over-year growth. They're serving 2,000 paying customers. They help those customers be more productive in the Microsoft ecosystem. Those customers have over 2 million seats on the platform as Rasmus continues to scale. He joined the company as CEO 2 years ago, did a 20 million Series A at a 5 to 6x multiple. He's now growing here with a team of 260 engineers and 14 sales hubs attacking each geography. We'll see what they do next. Rasmus, thanks for taking us to the top.
Hey, thank you for the time.